Welcome back, Guardian. In a few hours, the Dawn DLC is going to be launching, and we're going to talk about that. Then I also put together a pre-artifact Solar Hunter build that is similar to the Void version of this with the 6 Coyote. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but get ready for some known issues that are going to be happening today. Bungie tried to stay on their date by having the launch today instead of pushing it back out, but they already know that it's going to be launching with a several ton of issues like normal. You're going to get that chicken error, so get ready to get booted off the game quite a few times and probably have to wait in line as per normal. That's just something that you should just always plan for, but it does launch at 12 Pacific time, so get ready to download it before time so you can go ahead and launch in and get yourself in line so you can get ready to start slaying out. And for some side news, you'll need to manually delete Season of the Undying currency from the Postmaster in order to free up space, so do that beforehand. It'll automatically be deleted from your inventory, so just go ahead and have that prepared. But like I said, they're already knowing some bugs are going to be happening, so don't get discouraged or don't get pissed off, because I know that I might not even be live streaming because I don't want to be live streaming and get people watching, and then all of a sudden I get booted back to the menu, and then I'm like 5,000th place in line or 18,000, so just be prepared for that. It happens every DLC, so if you're new to Destiny, it's something that's always going to be happening. But in other news, let's talk about the Obelisk, which nobody really kind of knows what it is yet, but you have to do that first to link it to the sundial. The areas to do this are going to be on Mars or the Tangled Shore. It's going to be kind of similar to the Menagerie, where you'll have to like slot runes like you did Menagerie, but I guess it's going to be the Obelisk, where you have to go to those two locations to then go to the sundial. So I'm just really hoping that we don't have to do public events every time before we go to the sundial, because that is just going to be a headache. It's just going to seem like a rinse, repeat, boring kind of routine. Hopefully they have that all figured out. Also, Bungie is saying don't stand in front of the obelisk, because apparently ads can come out of that and kill you, but nobody knows if that's a bug or if it's intended to be that way. But apparently if you stand in front of this unknown obelisk, there's going to be ads coming out, so free your space up so you don't get killed. And also for triumphs, a lot of them are not going to be working, so your challenges, your rituals, and your engagement are not going to be functioning properly, but they are going to do a fix on that and also make the requirements lowered so you can get them easier for the lost time that we have by not being able to do them right at the launch. But to basically sum all that up, you're going to be notified right when you log into the game. You're going to start your quest step. It's going to tell you exactly where to go, as it always does. But it kind of sounds like Bungie really wasn't prepared to release this just yet, but they want to stay on their time date calendar to keep everything's in order. But we'll just have to see how this all goes. But anyways, let's hop into the main meat of this video. I didn't want to leave all the hunters out. There's a lot of new solar buffs that are going to be happening and things like that with the artifact, but I wanted to put together a pre-artifact build to get you all prepared and ready to wreck with some decent recharge rates to be able to stay alive when you're doing the sundial. Season of the Dawn is not going to start off with you already having the artifact. You're going to be prompted with a quest and then level it up the same way you did during Shadowkeep, but that's going to be probably a little bit before you get it completely all unlocked, so we're going to need some good builds to keep you hunter slaying, and that's what I have for you today. So let's get on into it. Back during Shadowkeep, I made that 6 Coyote build based around Oppressive Darkness. Well, here is the solar version, so screenshot this. It's kind of bare bones. I just left it with basically like the stats, and then we're going to be using Enhanced Bomber and Distribution with the 6 Coyote. You're not going to need any kind of Paragon mods with this because the mobility value on Hunters is going to decrease your ability class cooldown. I don't know how this is going to work with Titans and for Warlocks. From my understanding, I guess Resilience lowers the barricade for Titans, and then Recovery lowers the rift time for Warlocks. That's just kind of speculation. I don't know if that's 100% correct, but for mobility on the Hunter, it is going to be the class ability for sure, as you saw in the live stream. But like I said, when you don't have your artifact yet, you're going to need some things to give you some recharge rates, so we're going to be using Enhanced Bomber with Distribution. I don't really like stacking double distribution because there's always situations where you're not going to be around ads, and you might need to just go ahead and proc a grenade to get it charging for when you're going to be coming up to some ads. So I don't like to balance just for the boss and the super recharge using Distribution. I think the grenade is just as important as your super in most of combat. The super is nice, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to balance it to where I'm just all the time getting lower recharge rates and everything else just to bump up my super recharge. Basically, those grenades on Hunters really do help you slay a lot, so that's why we're going to be using that. And we're going to also use a tier 8 grenade. Currently this build is at a 7, but when I masterwork this armor, it's going to bump it up to 8. Now don't get me wrong, when you have a 7 and you're against high value targets or bigger boss type targets, tier 7 is fine, because when you use Blade Barrage mid-tree and you throw your throwing knives against a target, it charges your dodge back. And on top of that, we're going to have that 7 mobility, which will be bumped up 6 more points to 6 plus traction, which I am going to do a test on that to make sure you're still getting that hidden tier, because since now it affects your class ability, they may have secretly patched that to where it doesn't give you that hidden tier anymore, but I'm going to know all that stuff as soon as it launches. That's one of the first things I'm going to go to and test, so be on the lookout for that update video, or if you subscribe, I'll put that in the community post so you can read all about that to find out if that's what it still does or not. But anyways, back to topic. The reason why you want to have that tier 8 is because when you're not around high value or bigger type targets, you don't get that ability recharge towards your class ability by doing your throwing knives. So it patches that gap that you'll have in grenade recharge when you do just a couple of dodges using the 6 coyote dodges. It makes it to where you get that grenade back and you have no wait time. And you can also use impact induction with this on top of it. If you look at the build that I told you the screenshot, it does have impact induction, the regular version, mixed with distribution, mixed with the enhanced bomber. But I'll show you some gameplay examples of this. So keep in mind, this is all built around Blade Barrage, not top or bottom tree. I just think for ad clear roll, Blade Barrage is the way to go. And then also, like I said, Gambler's Dodge is kind of a must-have on this. But you can see right here that I keep doing my throwing knives against this big ogre, and then you'll see my dodge keep recharging itself, and then I keep proccing my grenade over and over by doing the dodges and getting that distribution. Or if I'm not around ads, I get that enhanced bomber. And if I am around ads, I get enhanced bomber and the distribution, which procs towards all of my abilities, including my super. So like I was saying, I'm using enhanced bomber instead of double stacking distribution for those times that I'm not around a lot of ads and I still need to proc grenades, or if I get pushed back by a ton of ads and my grenade's almost there, I still have a chance to top that grenade off to still stay in the battle, or proc any kind of armaments if you're using hive armaments or fallen armaments or whatever you might have on your version of the build. Here's an example of the tier 7 versus this group of ads. Like I was saying, when you're not around ads, or when you can't get your dodge back from the throwing knife ability and getting that playing with fire, you'll see that gap that I have in my grenade right here. If I was at a tier 8, that gap right there is completely closed off. So if I'm with battle versus just regular ads, or high value targets mixed with regular ads, or whatever the situation, I always have an ability to get a grenade back, whether I have the subclass ability giving me playing with fire, or if I'm just using the enhanced bomber and the distribution proccing together. When I made this same build using the Oppressive Darkness, I recommended being at a tier 7 because you had the ability to throw the smoke down at your feet to go invisible, which would also proc grenade ability. But since you don't have that capability on the mid-tree Blade Barrage, you need to bump it up to that tier 8. I mean, like I said, you can get away with the tier 7 if you wanted to, but when I'm trying to build out a Slay build, I don't want to have any kind of pause or anything in my, strategies basically, so I want to make sure that if I need a grenade, I don't have to wait that few extra 4 seconds or whatever. I just want to make sure that it's there to get cleaner strategies and faster getaway times to just keep mowing through ads, one after the other basically. So when I can tighten up my ability recharge game, mixed with my gunplay game, there's no gaps or any kind of pause in any kind of battle that I'm in basically. Of course, once you unlock the artifact, all of this stuff is going to be changed. You're going to have to build around different things based on the energy you have versus how much energy the artifact is going to cost to put on your class item. So you might not have room for distribution and enhanced bomber, but for the time being, you have this build right here, whether you're at a tier 7 or a tier 8, which is what I recommend, you still have plenty of grenade capabilities, and grenades create confidence in battle because it's better to go in with a grenade slaying than to have nothing but gunplay, because you never know what's going to happen, and you always want to make sure you're prepared, especially at lower light stages in a new DLC. You want to make sure that you have great recharge rates going with whatever guns you're using, and if you can tighten up all of that in your build, then you just increase your survival and your kill numbers and your ability to just wreck and destroy. But that's just a quick tutorial that I wanted to go through just to kind of like, give some hunters some love before the DLC launches. I hope y'all enjoy this. Like I said, it's really no different than the Void subclass build that I made with this. It's exactly the same, except I bumped it up to a tier 8 grenade, and I took that Paragon mod off that used to be on there, since now the mobility value contributes to the regen of your class ability. So by having this on, at a tier 7 especially, you're probably going to have around a 13-second dodge, which is really amazing when it comes to the Blade Barrage subclass tree, mixed with the 2 dodges that you get wearing the 6 Coyote. So you should have plenty of grenade regen and super ability coming from the distribution. But anyways, man, I will see you all at the launch. If I live stream, depending on how congested the servers are, we'll all make or break that basically. But I will have some more updated videos on how to do things in the new DLC, as well as a ton of new builds based on the new artifact perks. So again, my name is Ristofelis. If you enjoy this channel, hit that subscribe button, share this video with your friends, even join our B Squad, become an ultimate member, and help me grow this channel for all you Guardians alike. But other than that, I will see you all on the next video next time.
In space.